This video tutorial will introduce the new multidisciplinary discharge routine that will soon be available for use from the nursing status board as well as from the physician desktop. The routine is intended to better coordinate and communicate discharge planning efforts for the patient. Here at Mercy, we are only using some basic portions of the routine, but other functionality may be added at a later date. When launching the discharge routine from the status board, click on Discharge on the right side. Once the routine is activated, the screen is identical for both nursing and physician staff. During this tutorial, we will be reviewing the nursing function of this screen, but I will point out some variations in the MD workflow. In reviewing the screen, the first thing at the top of the screen is the patient problem list. If this area is blank, it's the nurse's responsibility to make sure that the problem list is addressed before the patient goes home. The remainder of the screen is divided into three main sections: physician section, case management section, and nursing section. The physician section has three items: the discharge med rec, discharge orders for home, and discharge instruction section. The ideal situation is for the MD to start using this routine as soon as they feel the patient is getting close to discharge. In some cases, it is completely appropriate to do the med rec and the discharge instructions a day or two before discharge, but the discharge order for home or for wherever the patient is going must be done on the day of discharge. In order to launch the med rec, simply click on Edit and the system will display any home meds to be evaluated for continuation upon discharge as well as the current inpatient meds. Many physicians will elect to continue all home meds, so one simple click at the top of the column to continue will launch that order. If any individual med is to be discontinued, simply click in the stop bubble. The renew and cancel buttons will not be used at this time. The next section is for the inpatient medications. If the doctor is performing this section, this column here for converting inpatient meds will have bubbles there for the doctor to click on. When the doctor clicks on that bubble, it will launch the conversion of that inpatient med to a home med. It will act as if it's creating a prescription for the physician, but it is important that the MD know that even though this function appears to be creating a script, there will be nothing printed and the MD will still need to either write a prescription or the nurse can call it into the pharmacy in the same manner as they currently do. Nurses can take telephone orders to continue all home meds, but the nurse cannot write new prescriptions from here. If the nurse knows that a new medication is being ordered for home, the nurse should add those medications to the home med list. This will not only display the new medication on the printout for the patient going home, but it will update the home med list for the next hospital visit. Click New and go to Update Med List. If this patient's going home on digoxin, we'll select a prescription string and add it so that it is now going to be available for evaluation for home meds and for future admission med rec. Once the med rec is completed, the nurse will need to submit and there it is. We're stopping this medication and these are the home meds the patient will continue on. The next item is the discharge order. Notice that there is already one order there. This will alert the doctor that the patient has been surgically cleared for discharge, but we're still lacking an actual discharge home order. So the attending will need to click Add, and nursing must still go through and assign an ordering physician. But notice that we're limited to only the appropriate orders that are available for discharge. The new discharge order has some core measure elements now embedded within it. So whether nursing or the physicians launch this order, the order functions the same. We'll first say where the patient's going, and then there's a section regarding core measures. This information here has already been documented by nursing staff. The physician does not need to enter any value there. However, if you try to file, it tells you there's two items incomplete. The cursor will land right at those completed items. The system says that since the patient had an MI, they should be evaluated for continuing aspirin at home. For whatever reason, the doctor says no. We also need to address the beta blocker. We will continue the beta blocker. And now it wants to know, why was aspirin not continued upon discharge? Now we're able to finalize the discharge order for home. When evaluating the whole discharge routine, I can clearly see this patient is ready for going home. When it comes to the discharge instructions, this can also be done ahead of time. But if the nursing staff try to click here, you will get the message you do not have access to enter that document. If nursing is taking a telephone order for discharge instructions, that will come here in the discharge order section. And as always, put in the ordering physician. And now we have something here that says discharge instructions RN use only. We're brought to the screen where we're going to fill in the blanks of the discharge instructions. Patient's going home with no dietary restrictions. Patient will go home with no restrictions for activity, etc. Fill in the blanks as appropriate and add any special instructions here. File. These discharge instructions, in addition to any instructions added by a surgeon or a consulting physician, those will be added to the printout for the patient when they go home. The next section is the case management section, and this is to be left up for case management to fill out. They can put in the anticipated date of discharge, etc. Patient education is the next section that nursing can fill out, and this can be added throughout the patient's stay. It's easiest to click on the All tab at the top and then do a string search for whatever it is you're looking for. And we can pick as many as we want, and we can click OK to add them to the discharge packet. They will be printed when the patient's discharge packet is printed. The final item to complete is the discharge assessment. Nursing now will need to fill this out before the patient goes home. This is the current screen you have, but it will be amended that are currently missing from the discharge routine. We'll fill out the items, however, so that we can file this. Now the entire discharge routine has been completed. I'm going to submit all this data, and once it's submitted, I have the button to finalize these orders. Notice the print packet is not printed out, or is not lit for clicking yet. I must finalize the order first, and it's a recommendation that this finalize button not be hit until the nurse is ready to sit down with the patient and review this packet. This will give you the opportunity to continue to add and edit the discharge instructions and whatever else needs to be edited up until the very last minute. Now that it has been finalized, the nurse can click on Print Packet, select English or Spanish. Notice the English and Spanish only applies to the patient education components, not to the actual med rec or other elements that will be printed. And then you select your printer, and you'll see these items roll through here quickly. And these are an indication of what you'll see printed when this packet is actually put on paper for the patient. This concludes the basic instructions on how to work with this new tool. We hope this has prepared you for this new transition, but as always, if there is any confusion or any questions, please don't hesitate to ask the super users in your department or the clinical informatics nurses. Thank you for your time.